Independent National Electoral Commission to issue certificates of return to governors-elect others from March 29. 2023 census to commence on 3rd May. People's Democratic Party suspends its national chairman. And in business news, banks confirm receiving more cash load ATMs. And an international scene, U.S. Vice President Harris promises greater investment for Africa. And in sports news, Super Eagles seeks revenge against Guinea-Bissau. Hello and thanks for joining us. That was the headline for Standard Voice Television News. Now the news in full. INEC has fixed Wednesday, March 29th to Friday, March 31st as days for the issuance of certificates of return to governors, deputy governors-elect, and state houses of assembly members-elect. For more on the story, our correspondent Umukulsum Mohammed reports.
Chairman of its Information and Voter Education Committee, Mr. Festus Okoye, made the declaration in a statement issued in Abuja on Saturday. By the provisions of Section 72, Subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, the Commission is mandated to issue a certificate of return within 14 days to every candidate who has been returned elected under the law. Pursuant to the provision, the Commission has fixed Wednesday, March 29, Thursday, March 30th, and Friday, March 31st for the issuance of certificates of return to those elected on March 18th. The presentation will take place in INEC offices in each state of the Federation. In a related development, the Commission has directed all resident electoral commissioners in the states and FCT to verify data on IREV before issuing certificates of return to governors-elect. It warned the resident electoral commissioners to ensure comparison with IREV data before issuance of certified true copies of Form EC8A. With this development, some governors-elect might not get their certificate of return at the end of the day if the records of the BVAS and IREV are conflicting. Umukulsum Muhammad reporting for Standard Voice Television News.
The federal government has confirmed that 2023 National Population and Housing Census will commence on May 3rd. Dr. Garba Abari, a member of the Publicity and Advocacy Committee on 2023 National Population and Housing Census, confirmed this to newsmen on Sunday in Abuja. He said that the 3-day exercise will commence May 3rd and end on May 5th across the country. Abari, who is the Director General, National Orientation Agency, NOAA, explained that the census exercise would capture every person, household and structure for national planning and project execution purposes. According to him, the change in the date was due to the postponement of the 2023 gubernatorial and state houses of assembly elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Barely few days after the suspension of some notable members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), that include former Katsina State Governor Ibrahim Shema, by the party's National Working Committee, the national chairman of the party, Iyochia Ayu, also was trapped on the same offense that led to the earlier suspension of the said members. The national chairman was as well as suspended by the executive of the party in his ward, Igiorov ward, for the same offense of anti-party activities. For more on the story, Zainab Abdul-Wasir reports.
After passing a vote of no confidence on the PDP national chairman, the secretary of the party in Igorov ward, Mr. Banga Doyum, said Ayu's anti-party activities alongside his allies contributed immensely to PDP's loss in his ward and local government in the gubernatorial election. Similarly, Ayu was accused of not paying his annual dues as enshrined by the party's constitution. While Ayu was alleged of not voting for PDP during the governorship and state assembly elections held on the 18th March 2023, the PDP executive of Igorov ward also alleged that most of Ayu's closet allies worked for the opposition APC, which resulted in the abysmal performance of the PDP in Igorov ward. 12 out of the 17 executive members, alongside the chairman of the ward, Kashi Phillips, signed the document endorsing the suspension of Iyochia Ayu. Zainab Abdul-Wasiyu reporting for Standard Voice Television.
The former governor of Zamfara State and senator-elect for Zamfara West Senatorial Zone, Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar has distributed 240 trailer trucks of assorted grains to the people of the state for Ramadan fast. Speaking shortly after flagging off the distribution exercise in Talata Mafra, Yari said the items to be distributed include rice, guinea corn, maize, millet, and sugar, among others. He said each of the 14 local government areas of the state would get 10 trailer trucks of the commodity, adding that the internally displaced persons IDPs will get 32 trucks. Orphans 12 trucks, while other organizations will get 10 trucks. Yari further explained that the purpose of the package was to enable the people of the state, particularly the less privileged, to perform the Ramadan fast with ease. The former governor also called on those who were entrusted with the distribution of the items to fear God in the discharge of their assignment and give the groups the number of bags allocated to them. The Kogi state government has restated commitment to improving healthcare service delivery at primary healthcare facilities across the state. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Zakari Usman, gave the assurance in Lokoja during a 5-day training for state and local government health workers in Kogi. Dr. Usman said the training, which was sponsored by the World Bank in collaboration with Kogi government and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, was to improve the quality of care in PHCs across the state. He assured that the state government will not rest on its oars at improving the quality of care at facilities to citizens, especially at the grassroots. In his remarks, the Executive Director of National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaibu, commended Kogi government for efforts to improve the quality of healthcare delivery in the state. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has warned of a possible rise in heat wave and temperature across some cities in Nigeria, which may lead to thermal discomfort. The agency, in a statement, said that observations from the source region indicated that temperature will rise over 40 degrees centigrade in the next 48 hours. The statement said parts of Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Taraba, and Adamawa are expected to record temperatures greater than 40 degrees centigrade, while most parts of the northern cities are expected to record temperatures between 35 degrees centigrade and 40 degrees centigrade. These include parts of Oyo, Kwara, FCT, Nasarawa, and Benue. The statement further warned that cities like Bauchi, Gombe, Borno, and Yola were at risk of experiencing high thermal discomfort. The National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control has alerted Nigerians to the recalled Ezricare and Delsum Pharma artificial tears eye drops. The recall is contained in a public alert with number 008-2023, signed by NAFDAC Director General Professor Mojishola Adeyeye in Abuja on Sunday. She said that the eye drop was recalled in February due to suspected contamination with Pseudomonas aeruginosa, a highly resistant bacteria. According to her, since the recall, the U.S. Center for Disease Control has reported 68 patients across 16 states with health problems from the bacteria, including eye infections, other problems associated with the eye drop with permanent loss of vision, surgical removal of eyeballs, and a case of death with a bloodstream infection. The NAFDAC boss said that laboratory testing identified the bacteria in opened Ezricare bottles from multiple sources, according to the CDC. Smallholder farmers in 4 northeast states of Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, and Gombe will receive 6.9 million naira as insurance payout claims to supplement yield lost during the 2022 farming season. The insurance payouts aim to cushion the effects of the adverse climate conditions and farm produce harvested by farmers at the end of the 2022 wet season, where flooding and rainfall affected the yield of the smallholder farmers. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, had said the flood affected 245,361 people and led to the destruction of 27,339 hectares of farmland in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, and Gombe states. The chief party of the RRA, Margarita Aswani, said the payouts will supplement the low yields recorded by farmers in the wet season due to the flooding that led to the massive destruction of farmland in the northeast. And on business news, The Central Bank of Nigeria has released more old notes to deposit money banks at the Apex Bank steps up efforts to flood the economy with more cash after prolonged cash crunch that has made life difficult for millions of Nigerians and residents. The Central Bank of Nigeria had on Thursday begun the release of billions of naira to deposit money banks. Bank officials said the CBN again released several billions of naira to lenders on Friday. Reports gathered that several branches of banks opened over the weekend and dispensed cash to their customers via automated teller machines and over the counter. Some of the banks had sent out emails to their customers notifying them that they will be open over the weekend for banking operations as ordered by the Apex Bank. And in international news,
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris said on Sunday that the United States will increase investment in Africa and help spur economic growth as she began a week-long tour of the continent aimed at offering a counter to the influence of rival China. China has invested heavily in Africa in recent decades, including in infrastructure and resource development, while Russian influence has also grown, including through the deployment of troops from Russia's private military contractor, Wagner Group, to aid governments in several countries. She said she intends to focus on increasing investment in Africa on the continent and facilitating economic growth and opportunity.
I'm very excited about the future of Africa. I'm very excited about the impact of the future of Africa on the rest of the world, including the United States of America. When I look at what is happening on this continent, and the fact that the median age is 19 years old.
She added that the administration of U.S. President Joe Biden has sought to strengthen ties with Africa in parts to offer an alternative to rival powers. And on sports news, Nigeria seek revenge against Guinea-Bissau in an Africa Cup of Nations qualifier at Estadio 24 de Setembro. The teams met at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium on Friday evening at the Djotos, claimed a shock 1-0 away win thanks to a first-half strike from Mama Baldi. While the Super Eagles boasted household names in attacks such as Victor Osimhen, Samuel Chukwueze and Moses Simon, and created numerous chances, they simply lacked the precision and patience to break down a resilient defense, leading to a surprise triumph that angered the home crowd in Abuja. And that's all we have for today's package, but before we go, let's take a recap of the major headlines. Independent National Electoral Commission to issue certificates of return to governors elect others from March 29th. 2023 census to commence on 3rd May. People's Democratic Party suspends its national chairman. And on business news, banks confirm receiving more cash load ATMs. And on international scene, U.S. Vice President Harris promises greater investment for Africa. And on sports news, Super Eagles seeks revenge against Guinea-Bissau. And that was a recap for the major headlines for Standard Voice Television News. On behalf of the production team, Head of News and Current Affairs, I still remain Rahma Ibrahim Disa and stay tuned for the House of Action.